Welcome to Buckets, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. My name is Matt Moore. I'm the senior NBA writer. I'm joined by Jay Money. You can find him on Twitter and on YouTube at JMoneyIsMoney. He's got live shows daily giving out picks. Make sure to check out his YouTube page and him on the Action Network app, as well as he's joining me on all sorts of shows throughout the week. I've also got with me Michael Fiddle. You can find him on Twitter and the Action Network app at Fiddle's Picks, also host of the Advantage Sports Betting Podcast. We're going to do best bets for Saturday, May 4th in the association. Just one game. We're going to get that for you. We would love to do best bets for the Sunday games, but unfortunately, if there are any, we're recording this on Friday morning. We don't know if that's going to happen. So you're going to have to hang with us on that one. We will have best bets for the Monday game between the Pacers and the Knicks for you on Monday, because we're doing buckets on Sunday. Make sure to check out youtube.com/the Action Network for details on that. We'll have buckets live this Sunday. All right, let's get to it, guys. All right, Jay, you're swerving up on me here. You got a best bet on this game, but it's a prop?
Yes, sir. Yeah, give me Naz Reid over 12.5 PRA.
All right. Naz Reid over 12.5 PRA. Michael Fiddle, what's your best bet for Wolves Nuggets?
I'm going to take the under and playable anything below 208.
Okay, I had to basically just like reverse I had to go against every impulse that I have here, and I wanted to bet Wolves money line. That's what I want to bet, but I am sadly, after the analysis, forced to take Nuggets minus 4.5, which annoys me to no end, just no end. You might be able to get a better number on this by the time it tips off, by the way. Jamal Murray's availability would obviously maybe shift things back to 5 where this opened. So yeah, this game started at 5, Michael, and we've got 88% of the tickets being tracked in Action Network app on the Wolves, and yet 58% of the money is on the Nuggets. So we have like sharp action out the wazoo on Denver here on the spread. On the total, we've got 53% of the tickets and 95% of the money is coming in on the over. And yet this has gone from 209.5 to 207.5, which tells you that the money coming in on the under is not just like sharp money, but sharp at like Ginsu, super shredder, ultra sharp money coming in on the under here.
Yeah, it's a very important note to make. People throw water on this, but this is a thing called reverse line movement, where the line is moving opposite the direction of the tickets and the money, which means the books are responding to the types of bettors that do best against them. Those are the sharp people. Those are the line movers. Generally, those are betting the most amount of money, but of course, a public handle could overweight that in some scenarios. This is a situation where the book is even planting their flag and saying, we will sit in the position with the sharps and we are willing to take on a large handle towards the over. And when the book is willing to take a position in the market, I want to go find the best number and sit with the books. The only difference here in me versus them is I'm going to have a minus 110. They're going to have plus 110s as the house operating in this. So my implied probability is slightly higher. However, this is a really, really sharp under. It came out at 209.5. There was even some 210s that originally popped up and lasted mere minutes. Down to 207.5 now. I would wait until pre-tip, because this is something I spoke about on yesterday's episode of Buckets. And we saw throughout the entire first round was late steam come in on overs and late line movement towards overs, whether that's a buyback or whether that's just another sharp better saying all of these lines are moving under. So I might as well wait it out for my inevitable position as an over on this game. We just saw it overnight with the Clippers Mavericks game 6 going from started at 209, went all the way down to 206, back up to 208.5. So these lines are starting to bounce a little bit, and I do think that might happen in this Nuggets game. It's not going to get back up to 209.5, but anything 208.5, 208 is playable towards the under.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm going to be on the under here as well, just based off of the sharp action. That's enough to get me on this. There's also some trends that kind of support this. Denver's been an under team at home in general. In the playoffs since the start of last year, it's actually their performance in game ones. They're actually, I think, 3-2 in those series. But in game ones, in terms of under to over, and that's close. But the two overs were the Lakers, where they literally had in the first half a 100th percentile offensive rating. Like They were hotter than the sun in game 1 versus the Lakers last year. And then in the Sun series, like that was just an offensive centric series. And so it wasn't surprising to me that one wound up going over. This is not an offensive centric series. This is not that team. This is not that opponent. This is the best defensive team that they've faced. So, I mean, look, it's priced that way at 207.5, right? This isn't some 225 mark, but I do lean towards the under because I do think this is going to be way more of a defensive series than people are primed for. The Nuggets will push pace to try and get some points in transition, but I don't necessarily know if they're going to be successful. All right, Jay, Naz Reid, hit me with it.
Yeah, I like Naz Reid. I wanted to ask you a question though, man. I wanted to know why you switched up from liking the Wolves to going with the Nuggets. I'm curious about that.
All right, I'll go ahead and give my cap for it. So it's it's honestly, this is a cowardly ass fucking play for me. That's what this is that I am just being an absolute bitch here. I like the Wolves in this matchup. I think they're live in this series. I am taking Nuggets -1.5 on the series spread for the actual best bet for the series. You can check out that in the series preview that we did with Brandon, mostly based off of the Nuggets are clutch merchants and they're going to win 2 games. Like they're going to win 2 games that are just like they have no business winning, but they're going to clutch it out much the same way they did versus the Lakers. Here's the problem. Top 2 seeds. Let's do top 2 seeds after the first round. Series games won. They've had at least 3 days rest, and the line is less than 5. So it's not some monster number. They're at home and they're rested, and it's a top 2 seed. 51-20 at 72% straight up. 41-29-1 at 59% against the spread. Like that and I've got Denver here, who has been absolutely monstrous in game 1 spreads. Denver at home's a wagon. Denver at home with all their guys is a wagon. It's 2 possessions here. You know, like I was hoping that the market would maybe disrespect the Wolves a little bit more or overinflate the Nuggets home court advantage. If this is like 6, I'm definitely on Wolves. But it's not. It's 4.5. It's less than 2 possessions. I can't. That's free throws. So I will go ahead and I will lay the 4.5 with the Nuggets, despite how much I love the Wolves in this matchup. I have to just lay it with here in game 1, Jay.
Yeah, I can dig that. I think that one main thing, obviously, these 2 teams faced up last year in the playoffs. And the Nuggets won 4-1, I believe, right? I don't think they swept them. They won 4-1 there, but not they had the Timberwolves are pretty banged up in that series, and they didn't have Naz Reid. And this is a guy that can really stretch the floor as well. A major guy coming off the bench. The Wolves just present a lot of matchups that the Lakers couldn't, in my opinion. First off, you can start with Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns. Like Aaron Gordon probably won't have that big of a series in this one because they can match up well with him, whether it's Naz Reid or Karl-Anthony Towns. But Naz Reid did eclipse this number over 12.5 PRA all 3 times that he played versus the Nuggets this season. I know one of those times that he was starting, but even coming off the bench, I kind of like that even more because the Nuggets don't have a ton of size coming off the bench. You see what I'm saying? So I do think the Wolves are a little bit deeper team. I feel like this over 12.5 PRA is really low for Naz Reid. He might go for 13 points. Remember, he can go for games where he'll have 3 or 4 threes alone. Yep. So the fact that I'm getting a 12.5 PRA is a really low line in my opinion. I think he might even have this by the first half. He's a really X factor type of guy for the Timberwolves, and especially versus the Denver Nuggets. And like I say, they didn't have him last year. This was one of the main matchups that they could have really exploited with Naz Reid, and it really hurt them in the last year in the playoffs. And I think if he can stay healthy and the Wolves can stay healthy, this might be their main X factor and possibly trying to upset the Nuggets in this series. So I'll take Naz Reid over 12.5 PRA with confidence here.
If we keep if we kind of game plan this out and we keep Naz on the floor and we keep Aaron Gordon in the 5 on those backup bench minutes for Denver, then you've got a really great opportunity here because either they're going to have to put the Wolves will play too big. So Gordon's going to have to guard either Towns or Gobert. He has to take that matchup. You can't have Peyton Watson taking Gobert or Towns. You can't do it. Or Christian Brown or any of these other guys. And they don't really have another 4. If that's the case, then they're going to have to, the Nuggets defense has to crash down. They have to come down and help out in the paint, especially in order to rebound, right? You have to at least be in that area. They'll try and shut down the paint as much as possible, which means Naz is going to be open for those threes. So I think him on the PR line, as well as him on a 3 points line is probably like a really good prop play in this series, especially starting out game 1. I don't see any reason to think that it wouldn't. I don't think his minutes will get hurt. I think this is not a Kyle Anderson series. I think it is a Naz Reid series. You're absolutely great call on him being out for that last series last year. Like that's not in the tapes. That's not factored into the books. So I think that's a really sharp angle. So to recap, Michael Fiddle likes the under in this game, 207.5. I'm on Nuggets -4.5 and hating it, just hating it. And Jay is on points, rebounds, Naz Reid over 12.5. That's going to do it for best bets for Saturday. We'll be back on Buckets Live on Sunday. More details on that on youtube.com/Action Network, as well as we'll catch up. You can find it on Twitter, Action Network HQ on Twitter. We'll see you Sunday for Buckets Live. We'll get a head start on Knicks Pacers. We'll have a series preview up for that. Have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy the game or games. And until then, let's get buckets.